I have clicked the record button. Yo, what up? Everybody at home, everybody over on YouTube. I have with me a special guest, Barrett Bryant of the playtest / design team. We record top 8s, so if this is your first UniVersus video with me, because of critical stuff, go check those out. But we are going to be doing a bit of a full set review for the Heroes of Exandria set that is coming out here relatively soon. March 7th. Isn't that correct? I don't have a yeah, March 7th. You can find your local game stores and all that jazz. We've done a couple of previews here on the channel, but this is going to be literally, we are doing 211 cards. We are talking about them. We were doing something before this, and Barrett was like, hey, do you want me on for the review? And I was like, that'd be very, very fun. So Barrett, thanks for being on, man. It's very cool to have you.
Heck yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited. I'm not gonna ramble about all the I've known these cards for a long time, obviously, but I'm more excited about genuinely your opinions, what chat thinks of these cards, how successful they think they're going to be in the format, and yeah, I can give a little bit of insight on how I also agree and or disagree with those ideas.
Yeah, and so if you're in Twitch chat, I'm going to be putting up a small poll on every card of do you like the card, yes, no, or meh. Please feel free to 1, 2, and 3 in chat. Give your opinions and thoughts on the cards, as I know that UVS employees do watch these videos and see the feedback here of how cool or rad or awesome they are. So here's the goal of the videos. I'm going to be splitting this up into a ton of different videos, and they're all going to have the same intro. We're going to run through all of the air, chaos, earth, fire, life, order, void, water attuned cards. From there, we're going to go to the infinity / multi-symboled cards. From there, we're going to do all of the ultra rares and then all of the secret rares. And so with that, let's get rocking. That's it. There's all the earth cards. Let's move on to fire. We've got Cleaving Swipe, 5/3/5 mid for 5. Frenzy, Fury Weapon. Frenzy says this gets damage for +1 speed, +1 damage for every blocked attack this turn. Blitz, remove a rage counter from your character. Your rival loses 2 health, or a rival backup loses 2 stamina. And the response after a rival backup is destroyed, this deck gains Echo. So your game plan here is to blitz, remove if their backup is at 2 stamina. You target the character, blow up the backup because its stamina goes to 0. Then you can respond and give this thing Echo. Or you Cleaving Swipe, you swing at the backup dies. When it dies, you respond, give it Echo, you play it, and swing at the character. So you're allowed to play this thing twice as long as they are playing the pink cards.
This one, I feel like we already have a card like this. But maybe I'm wrong. I could have sworn, as I was scrolling, I could have sworn there was an Attack on Titan card that already did this. But I will say, one, I think Frenzy is not an unplayable keyword.
Agreed.
I think its top ability is fine. Probably not in, I don't know. Its top ability is fine, but not good enough usually in the rage characters. Yasha wants to stack them, so she doesn't like this ability.
Yeah.
And Grog is spinning them for better than this effect.
Yeah.
But I think the response is kind of playable if you have momentum, because we saw decks like Kevin Broberg's Hanj Zoe deck win Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
There's a non-zero world where people have backups in their stage. This is now counterplay for them. And also now you can still double it up as another attack. I mean,
yeah, the card you're looking at is I don't think it has the Echo whenever it swings at a backup. But it is like Levi's Rampage is like pretty similarly shaped. Of it gets damage when it swings at a backup.
And it already has Echo.
Right?
Yeah, you're right.
I do think that like this card, I think that this card, when you talk about floor ceiling, I think this card's ceiling is so incredibly high of like the amount of moves that you can mess with this, of like it's a Frenzy, it's backup. There's a world where like I drew dead and I've been partial blocking a ton of Grog and I've got 7 counters on my character. I'm down to remove a rage counter to not give the 3 damage, draw a card, and just make you burn for 2. That makes this a 5 mid for 8 that just says burn 2, and then if I echo it I can burn you again. Like there's and that can kill them if they go to 4 and I echo this. They die. And so like there's a world where like this is just a checkmate card. Not to mention like the fact that it has frenzy. If you can figure out a way to play it late in the chain, it's a 5 mid for 5 mid for 8 in Grog, and then X plus X plus X for every blocked card. It only gets better because of the echo. If you blocked the echo, it gets even strong. Like there's a lot of buttons to be pressed on Cleaving Swipe. So as a rare, I think it feels very good, but the buttons to be pressed are very narrow in what they can, should, want to be used for. So I think very high ceiling, but also a very high floor of like, I don't know exactly when you're going to use this. We want consistency for the floor to be as low as possible.
I think for that reason, it's like a one of in certain decks. Maybe a sideboard piece if you're looking for the backup answer, but that is so dependent on what people are playing in the format that
100%.
Like, that's about as high as it gets for me.
Decapitating Swing, another Grog just what, this was a decapitating swing? This is okay. 5/3 3-eye block, or 2-eye block, 4 mid for 6 brute, powerful 3, so if your character has a brute keyword. Fury, weapon, blitz, if there are 1 or more rage counters on your character's attack, gets +1 speed. It's 5 mid for 6 as a common. It's got powerful 3. Okay. This is fine, I guess. Yeah,
it's fine.
Furious Charge, 3/3 3 mid for 3, 2 low block, boo, should have been a 3 low block. Deflect 2, boo, should have been deflect 3. Charge Fury Punch, blitz, if you have a weapon in your card pool, this attack gains weapon. Why does that matter? What is?
I think it matters. I can't remember. There's something within the set on why it matters.
Like maybe like if your weapon attack deals damage, do a thing, but like.
The biggest ready, regardless of what the blitz is, I think this card's actually playable. And it's
this is a
because
3
of the
diff with
character.
Bo's symbol.
Yeah, exactly. And it has the keywords that Bo is looking for. That enough is for the reason for this to see play. Genuinely, and that means you shouldn't sell it short. The fact that it also has deflect, we saw in a similar sense of Mina 2's success in a certain time frame with deflect cards to be a reason why she could barely survive when she just misses on her aggro. She's an aggro 6-hander. I think this is going to be a similar story with a card like this and a character like Bo.
Yeah,
and I
totally
think that
agree.
means it's good enough.
Yeah, love it. Up next, we've got Great Axe Chop. It's a 6/3 5-high for 7 with a 1 mid block, EX3 Fury weapon. If you're just looking for a stat stick, I think that this is it. I think it's a great payoff for the EX3. In your brute characters, it gets massive damage, good momentum spend. I think this one is totally chill. I think it's totally great.
I figured out why that card gains weapon.
Okay, hit me.
We'll get to it later.
Perfect.
It synergizes with a card that also has Bow on it with water on it.
Do you have anything to say about Great Axe Chop?
I think this is if you guys can't find determined advances, this is your budget determined advance, at least when it comes to the stats with the EX on it and but other than that, it'll help kill people in sealed.
Rip Apart, gnarly art. Holy cow. 4/3 3 mid for 6, incredible stats. 2 mid block combo Fury. There it is. Blitz, if there are 2 rage counters on your character, this attack gains throw. And then combo response, this attack deals no damage. Your rival flips 1 ready foundation. So a little more of that earth synergy we've talked about in a past video. The fact that if you have 2 or more rage counters on your character's attack gains throw is very, very good. Very good.
If you're Grog, since Grog's in the photo, you're essentially, when you are going to make it a throw and you give it 3 damage and draw a card, you will get your rage counter back because hopefully your throw will deal damage. More than likely it will. This gives you incentive to do some Fury stuff. The fact that it has to be, your opponent has to pick one, but it has to be one of their ready ones is pretty good because most of the time on your offensive turn, the only stuff ready in the stage is stuff that they want that has good effects. So it's not a bad reason to play Fury. It is a pseudo 5-diff throw, which seems to be kind of, we've seen other one of these in the set. I don't think this one's bad per se. There's probably just better cards to be playing that exist in the world, but maybe I'm wrong. And there's not enough good throws for certain symbols on Grog, and this is a way for you to get a throw on a tune for this character, and that
Yeah,
matters.
and it's only a 5 diff if you care about the Fury, right?
Oh,
Like
true.
having
Yeah,
having
yeah.
the throw part, you're allowed to just play it as the 4 diff as the opener. And if you're
Yep.
Grog, if you've got your 2 counters, you blitz, give it throw, and then Grog. It's a 9 damage draw card throw that's gonna get your counter back. Like
Yeah.
this card is no joke, truly. Upward Disarming Swing. This card art's gross. It's a 4/3, 4 low for 4 with a 2 high block. Stun 1 Fury weapon. Response after stack deals damage. Destroy 1 rival asset. Those crazy vestiges that you grabbed. Your did somebody not cape correctly? VME. Goodbye. I'm just going to break this thing. Very happy to see the fire symbol have real asset hate. And it's not quite the foundation asset hate that we had in the previous video, but I mean this is good. It's decent enough. It's a 4 diff. It's where stats well. I think this is a great card.
Yeah, I think this card's great. It needs a little bit of input, obviously, but your opponent's allowed to counterplay it. I also think that means that it's like a good counter piece if your opponent has some kind of counterplay to it as well. Worst case scenario, it's a 4 low for 4 with stun 1 that just works. Yeah, I think this card, you can't really ask much more for what it's trying to do.
From here, we've got Zealot's Advance. Holy shit, the art on this card is so sick.
Should it be a mat?
Yes! It absolutely should be a mat. 4/3, 3 high for 5. 1 mid block Fury weapon. Response, remove a rage counter from your character. After stack receives a damage bonus, it gets +2 speed. Yasha's looking to stockpile rage counters. And then if you can give this any amount of damage, she just like ticks off counters for bonus speed. It's very plow through identity,
Yeah.
but it has a limit on the amount that it can give, which means it's not the 5/2 that it was that plow through is. I think this card is very cool and a reason to play Yasha in the way that you do, right? I think it's very, very sick.
Yeah, I think worst case scenario also, like in Yasha, like at the cost of 1 of your rage counters, this is a like minimum going to be like a 5 high for 7 4 diff, which is just good. And then the fact is that it has this crazy potential. I think of even like in Death Yasha or Void Yasha, you can play cards like Combined Firepower with in combination of cards like I'm With You that can be in that deck, and the effect of Combined Firepower alone. You can go from having 6 counters as Yasha and pressing 6 different ways of giving damage to this attack so that it gains. So it's a 15 high for however big you got it to.
Yeah.
That is a kill condition, and that
100%.
is going to be enough to put this in a deck.
And like the light sword and the wings and the eyes, like this looks like a kill card, dude. Just absolutely coming to smite you. Just a thud. It's dope. So cool. Bellow of Rage. I think this card's crazy. 2/5, 2 high block. Response, remove spin momentum. After combat phase begins, draw a card, period. If your character is a brute, add a card with Rage in its name from your discard pile to your hand instead. We have seen, I mean, we're going to see in a video, I Would Like to Rage, just being able to play this and get a ton of rage counters, and then draw the card, it ignores, get powerful from the card pool. I spoiled all the card. Just Bellow of Rage, being able to pick that card up is so sick. It's very, very cool.
All right, so hear me out. I don't know how this works.
Okay.
Because I don't know how it works in our game because our game is spaghetti rules.
Mm-hmm.
Does this also mean I can pick up any card with Barrage in its name?
No.
Okay.
No.
Because what if it did?
No, you're not
Anyway.
Yu-Gi-Oh. You cannot.
Yes. When it comes to the high rarity cards, this card lets you pick up extra copies of it at the cost of removing it and spending momentum. It's when your combat phase begins. So you debuild 1, but you get an extra key piece. Selective 6-hander in Grog. Selective 7-hander in Yasha is going to be very, very good. And the cards that we're picking up, like you said, are going to be incredibly strong. This card's good. Probably not more than like a 1 or 2 of though. Just
losing a card is pretty rough. I will say though, like if you have any way to, if you've got your massive stage, you're allowed to use more than 1 Bellow. You can just bellow 4 times and grab 4 cards to have the word rage on it. Do you have any rage back here? We have no rage back here, at least on the fire cards.
Back in the chaos one, we had Soothing Grog's rage, but that doesn't help us with any of the rage counter characters. Also, don't think any of them are brutes that have chaos.
Dope.
But we'll see another one in this. We will see another rage card in this videos. So,
Cycle of Violence, 2/5, 1 low block response remove. After this card enters your discard pile during the enhanced step, add 1 card from your discard pile to the bottom of your deck, period. The coolest thing that you can do with this card is there is a Star Trek Lower Decks card that says response flip, play the bottom, or block with the bottom card of your deck. And so like there's like this little 2 card synergy of like, I'd like to put this on the bottom, and then now I'm going to block with it. Neat. Cool. It's a way to remove in rock combined firepower, I guess, if you're on the fire symbol. But otherwise,
true.
It's not spectacular.
Yeah, I mean, it's very techy, like you said. It does very specific things. I don't see it even for those kind of decks that are like trying to mill this and get the effect from it and do that cool thing that you were talking about. How much that actually matters.
If it touched either player's discard pile, I think I'd be way more into it. Like if I could put your pieces on the bottom, I think I'd be down. But the fact that it's exclusively mine, it's probably just like not worth the slot. It's got a solid 1 low block though, right? If you're scared about it. Everlight's Grace, another great piece of art. 2/4, 2 high block. Response commit. After you take damage from an unblocked attack, mill 2 cards, add 1 of the mill cards to your hand. It would be very cool if one of them was on the bottom. I'm sorry. It has to be, hold on. You have to do this twice, because if you mill the last card in your deck, then you would cycle, and then you would miss. Everlight's Grace. You do just draw a card on defense if you take an unblocked move. I think it's neat, especially if there's any way for you to add cards to the top of your deck. It's fine. 2/4 is a little expensive, but drawing cards on defense is dope.
I don't know, man. I think this card's pretty good. I have been drinking the sauce. I think with the amount of damage reduction that most people are playing nowadays, this card's pretty good. Unblocked attacks are a lot more common than you think, and they're usually not for their total damage. So a commit cost, get a value out of it, is pretty good because it's repeatable, and it gives you a small selection, right, out of 2 cards.
Yeah.
It's not. I think it's pretty good.
This card, though, this card is nuts. Radiant Visage, 1/5, 3 high block, enhance, flip, mill 3. Your rival spends 1 momentum. It's a staple. It's going to be a 3 of in every deck with a 4th one in the sideboard. This card's going to be everywhere. If you got the fire symbol, you're playing this one.
Yeah,
Incredible
1/5. Premium. Yeah, momentum is premium. Mill synergy is great. In fact, it's on a 1 diff. Low deck building cost.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So good. Stoic Enmity. Enmity? Stoic Enmity. Stoic Enmity. 1/6 for mid block. Enhance, sacrifice, or destroy itself this deck gets -1 damage. Add 1 rage counter to your character, period. If tenacious, I'm so in. No tenacious, I sleep. I think this card is not very good.
I don't know. I mean, I know it's not very good based off of the text that's on the card, but it checks a 6. It just flat out gives you a rage counter and with damage reduction on it. I think this is playable in Yasha if the rest of your deck is tailored very well. Yeah. Also,
I that's fair.
It blocks Besiege.
8 out of 10.
+1. +1. Blocks Besiege +1.
Yuck.
I'm just saying, it's not unplayable. When you have a volatile character like Yasha, who's like, this 1 foundation could be the reason on my turn I get to 6 and I once per game you, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
The fact that it's just a 1/6 still, even if you never pressed the enhance button on it, we flip it over for something.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm on death. I play Battle War Release. I flip it over. I don't need to use the enhance.
Full disclosure, I made a grog list today, and I put this in my deck, and then I went,
Nah,
I don't want
Grog
this.
doesn't need it.
I
Grog
don't
does
want-
not need this card. I
Yeah.
think about it in Yasha because they want to stockpile the rage counters, and this is a way to generate rage counters. Um, Grog does not need this, but specifically on Yasha, damage reduction plus fast generation is cash money.
Love it. Strong windup. I'm nervous about this card. 3/5/3 low block.
No, I think
Deflect
you're worried
1.
about your girlfriend in this card.
Response remove. After you make a check with to play a card with the printed 6 difficulty or greater, your check gets +3. Period. There are a lot of really good fire 6 diffs. 6 or higher's, excuse me. I'm gonna be so annoyed whenever I go. You can't even play teaming with the attack titan and pass it, and you go, actually, I've got 2 strong windups in my stage. I will pass it for sure. I think this one is very, very, very good. 4-check tribal fun, yes. Yes.
Walk the dog. This
Walk
works
the
on walk
dog.
the dog.
This
This works on determined advance. This says you don't have to play determined advance first if you have the fire symbol.
Yeah.
It says you can play it later. And man, oh man, if I played a card that said it can't go below its printed speed and damage later in the turn, that's really scary. And this card helps
Really
you do
scary.
it. Granted, this is like a fake +3, by the way, because it has to remove.
Mhm.
So it leaves your stage and it must be ready, right?
Correct.
So like it's a fake +3. It's
Yeah.
really like +2, but that is sometimes good enough for what we're kind of doing. The deflect 1 is hilarious to me.
Very funny.
With a shitty block. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I agree with you. The card's fine.
I think this card is slightly better than fine. I do not think this card is broken by any means, but I think that like on turn 1, turn 2, you're gonna build double strong windup. We're gonna get to turn 4, turn 5 as the game is like slowed down just a little bit, and you're gonna have these, and you're going to successfully be able to string, and this is gonna be the reason that you like string way later in the game. This will be the reason, and I am nervous about it. Yeah. Nervous in the fact of like I don't want to fight against it. Not nervous in the fact of I think it's gonna be destroyed or
Yeah,
or
yeah.
it's too good.
I mean, I'm really trying to think of like the epitome of attacks that want to be played later in the string. I think you nailed it. Like teaming with the attack titan, this card's very good, obviously, because that card already reduces itself. Yada yada yada. I said walk the dog for the characters that have fire and those symbols. I'm really just trying to think of like other ones that are like a higher difficulty that want to be played later.
Ymir likes this for defeating the Colossus Titan, right?
Usually
Like
defeating is the lead though, but like
yeah. But this says it doesn't have to be now, right? Like, and even like, oh, I'm playing Ymir. You fully blocked my Myths of Despair. Okay, I'll play defeating. It's on a 9. I'll check a 5. I checked an 8. I'll commit 1. It's 9.
I think what's really gonna push me over is like who is going to play this the best playing like Colossus Titan attacks. We
Yeah.
haven't seen that card as much since Smiling Titan kind of fell out a little bit. Colossus Thermal Blast is funny.
Yeah.
Obviously. Like
Yeah.
just helping you get there. We saw Unexpected Outcomes literally win worlds. Like these are all very, very good cards.
Totally.
And because those ones have infinity, you just need to play a fire character. So yeah.
Yeah. Moving on, holy cow, another piece of crazy art. Unrelenting Brute 1/5/2 mid block response flip. After rival reduces the damage of your attack, it gets +2 damage. Add 1 rage counter to your character. This card is crazy. This card is the one that they both want. You absolutely want to play this one.
Yeah, I think you can for sure make the excuse to not need it in Grog, but like I said, for what Yasha's trying to do, this one says damage reduction is illegal against me because for however many of these I have on the board, you just press them all and you have accelerated Yasha's game plan significantly.
100%.
Grog, yeah, you can kind of stockpile them. There are, ultra rare and secret rare that are very good for doing that. And the fact that it basically, instead of cancel, I like this one because it doesn't cancel the DR.
Yeah.
It's gonna feel fine to play against, but you still have to think like, man, is my -2 damage with my I'm with you gonna really matter? Because they're gonna get it back and give them rage counters. It's gonna make you think twice, and I think that's good enough without having to just raw cancel something.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like that it gives you the bonuses.
Yeah.
Unyielding Rage.
Rage.
This card pushes Yasha over the limit. This card makes Yasha real. 3/5/1 low block. Breaker 1 Fury. Enhance once per turn Tenacious, so playable while committed. If there are 3 or more rage counters on your character, ready this foundation, period. This card's dope. And then response commit, after you spend 1 or momentum, add a rage counter to your character, period. You no longer have to hit them. You no longer have to be hit in order to gain your rage counters. This card's dope. You want to have 4 of this on your board on turn 1 as soon as possible. Not unique. You want this one.
Yeah,
This
I
one's
agree.
the good
This
one.
card's nuts in Rasha. The sauce for everybody at home is Void Yasha, by the way, with this card. Cards like Rapid Speed Slash and
Hacker.
not even for the spend. I was gonna say cards that just help you turbo generate momentum to help you spend them. It's
Hacker
Double
says
Fist
that
of the Mortal Flame and Rapid Speed Slash.
Hacker says when you take damage, you get the momentum.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you can spend
And
it.
then you
But I'm saying
then you also get the rage counter, and then you spend it to draw the card, and then get the rage counter.
So, but Void Yasha has like the best momentum generation in my opinion. The fact that this card is basically your version of History's Greatest Monster while also accelerating your deck feels very, very good. If you worst case scenario, it's a 1 low block with Breaker 1. This card is nuts.
Yeah, this is a good one. And there it is.